Hello everyone and welcome to my video. Today we're going to be discussing the latest transfers that have surrounded FC Barcelona in the past couple of days, the training sessions, and the Barcelona stats in La Liga over the past couple of seasons. So let's first of all talk about Jorginho Wijnaldum, who hosted a meeting with Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp today about him wanting to stay at Liverpool and not wanting to come to Barcelona, and he did say that he wanted to extend his contract at Liverpool. And according to Sky Sports, Jurgen Klopp was in agreement with him, and he does also want to extend his contract at Liverpool, so that pretty much closes the door on Wijnaldum potentially joining Barcelona. So from one transfer rumour being shut down to potentially another in Luis Suarez, he has apparently put the brakes on his move to Juventus and is looking elsewhere towards Atletico, or maybe even potentially staying at Barcelona for next season. In addition to that, Luis Suarez has came out and said that he would prefer a move to Atletico rather than Juventus. But Atletico have came out and said that even though they do want Luis Suarez, they wouldn't be willing to pay any sort of transfer fee for him. But this doesn't make any sense in my opinion, because yeah, he is on the older side, but he still was the fourth top goal scorer in La Liga last season, so he still has some value even though he is 33. So for Atletico to come out and say that, that is a bit of an insult. They should negotiate some sort of variables to account to at least around 15 to 20 million euros. But this is all well and good saying this, but Suarez may not leave Barcelona this summer, and he could stay on and play throughout the whole next season. And if he does, and he plays more than 60% of the games for Barcelona, he will trigger a clause in his contract that will extend his contract for a further year at Barcelona. So we'll have to wait and see on this one. Suarez may be here till 2022. Now to discuss a unexpected, undisclosed transfer offer for young Ansu Fati from a team in the Premier League who have tried to activate his €150 million release clause for the young 17-year-old. But unfortunately for them, Barcelona have flat out rejected this offer and are in current negotiations to increase his release clause from €150 million to €400 million. But it has come out that the contract was already agreed upon, but Ansu's impressive display on his international debut has halted the negotiations, and his agent Jorge Mendes is pushing for a further wage increase for Ansu. But I do think that President Bartomeu will agree to this, considering the ridiculously high wages he has agreed upon before. At least with Ansu, he is a potential successor for Messi, and I do think this will be resolved in the coming weeks before the season will start, and he will be with us until at least 2025. Staying on the topic of Jorge Mendes, he also represents Nelson Semedo, who has received an offer to leave the club from an undisclosed team today, and Jorge Mendes and Barcelona will be discussing the departure of Semedo today. So fingers crossed on this one, because Semedo does have to leave Barcelona. Now to discuss the training sessions that have been taking place over the past couple of days in Barcelona. So Barcelona has been taking part in double training sessions on both Tuesday and yesterday. You may be thinking that's fairly normal, but what was unusual, yesterday evening, the second training session of the day, Messi, Busquets, De Jong and Ansu, just to mention a few, were exempt from that training session behind closed doors because Ronald Koeman wanted to focus on relying much more heavily on players like Dembele, Griezmann and Coutinho, and he wanted to focus that training session with the younger players, so players like Dembele, Griezmann and Coutinho could break through and be a much more important focal point of the team for next season. But on to today's training session, which there wasn't any, but that still didn't stop players like Messi, Busquets, Longley and Griezmann for turning up to the training ground. Despite it being their day off, they still came to training nevertheless. And I think this does show good signs for players like Griezmann in particular for next season to show eagerness to win the trophies that we didn't win last season. And I do think that is important, and that will show the younger players the willingness and determination to be one of the world's best players. Moving on to some worrying statistics for Barcelona over the past 5 seasons in La Liga. This picture shows the gradual decline of Barcelona's form in the league, with the treble winning season in the 14-15 season with a goal difference of 89, scoring 110 and only conceding 21. That was the highlight of Barcelona's form in the past 6 years. Because as you can see in terms of the goal difference, you can see the decline from that season onwards, with the 15-16 season, not much of a difference, but scoring 2 more goals but conceding 8 more with a goal difference of 83. But again in the 16-17 season, there is a decline of goal difference, but we again are scoring more goals. This is when we were at the height of MSN at Barcelona. And in my opinion, the season that we were far too reliant on our attacking players to score more goals at the other end, and we didn't seem to focus whatsoever on defence. Because in that season we did come second to Real Madrid, incredibly, with scoring 116 goals in the league alone. We did come second that year. Yes, second with 116 goals. That's how much we didn't focus on defence. Moving on to the 17-18 season, that was the summer that we did lose Neymar Jr., and that would explain the sudden drastic drop in goals from 116 to 99. But even though we did have a drastic drop in goals that season, we did still manage to win, but still a decrease in goal difference, with 70 this season and 79 last season. And I think once it gets to the 18-19 season and the 19-20 season, this is where you definitely see the age effect on Barcelona's players, with Mother Nature naturally catching up with them and no young players to rotate them. Our goal tally since that treble winning season has taken a hit by 24. We've also conceded 70 more goals, and in result to that, our goal difference is 41 less than what it was in 2015. That should put into perspective how badly Barcelona truly does need a rebuild this season. Finally, there was a bit of transfer news today regarding Hector Bellerin, who reportedly has been targeted by Barcelona. But I don't think that there's any truth in this, because I do think that Arsenal are trying to offload him, and they are trying to use Barcelona's name to try and create some attention around him so that other teams will show some interest if Barcelona does. But I really do hope that this isn't true. We should be focusing on a much more higher profile, more established right back, and if we can't find that player, then we should be focusing on a young player who has a lot of potential, who could grow into the role and be a world-class right back for us for the next 5 to 10 years. But anyway, that's all the latest Barcelona news. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments, and who should Barcelona get at the right back position. Thank you everyone for joining me, and goodbye.